What is good, guys? This is GVE Mike here, and we're on another amazing episode of the Good Vibes podcast. I'm here today with the Diligent Delinquents. Guys, introduce yourselves. Definitely got some interesting music. I was able to check some stuff out. I like the single that I checked out as well, Big Thangs. You know what I'm saying? You gotta say Big Thangs. You can't say Big
Thangs.
Things. You know what I'm saying? So
Or
yeah.
as we call it big wangs
Hey,
sometimes.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, man. Hey guys, tell me like a little bit about yourselves. You as being a group. What side of the country are you from? The type of music you would categorize yourself. Just tell me a little bit about yourselves.
All
Ladies
right.
first.
Well, we're based on the East Coast in New York City.
Shout out to Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn, born and raised. My background in the rock and roll front, funk rock. I started playing bass and I taught myself a lot of different instruments. And Nick here, he's on the hip hop front, lyrical, rhythmic, and we joined forces in 2019. And our first album just dropped, and we're looking forward to sharing it with the world. So, I mean, that's my 2 cents.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That pretty much covers it. Brooklyn born and bred, ready to take on the scene. And
Definitely.
we've been making music together for about a year, and it's turned out well so far. So.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what's interesting is I was watching a video and you guys were like dressed up in suits and in the city of New York. And it was really cool because I definitely got some like rock vibes. And me, I'm not like the hugest rock connoisseur. So anybody who's watching this and you guys feel free to just smack me upside the head through the screen. But to me, I felt a little bit of a grunge like feeling, and it's definitely a interesting vibe as far as lyrically as well. I mean, are you guys like with your songs? Are you trying to put out a specific message? Is it song by song, or is your band like? Do you guys represent something?
I would say each song has its own message. Each song carries its own message. And you can feel that from obviously the lyrics of the verbalization of what I'm trying to convey, as well as the energy of the instrumentation, which is this guy.
Definitely.
So, with Oxygen specifically, which I believe is the video that you're talking about when we were in Times Square with the mask, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. So with Oxygen, it was at kind of the height of the pandemic. We actually went out there in May. Everything kind of went down in April here. That was when everything was peaking. We went out in May, and we shot in Times Square, and there was like nobody there.
Yeah.
So that is a first, I think, potentially in New York history.
Yeah.
That I don't know if that's ever been. You know what I mean? That's pretty.
I don't know. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, each message has its own, or each song has its own message. But with Oxygen, I think it was just I was just trying to touch on the pandemic and like what I was trying to play both sides. Some people fear.
At the time, they said it would be a lockdown for 2 weeks, and in the chorus, we say it could be days, it could be weeks.
Yeah, we were kind of left in the dark.
Here we are, 8 months later, and it's still hitting us hard. So.
Right, and it might piss people off that we're this close and we're not wearing masks. Honestly, so it's still that effective in our society today, especially in New York City. So
But yeah, grunge for sure, but lots of different genres on the album. I mean, our backgrounds are so versatile that that really translates in every single track.
Definitely. Yeah, and I've got this track, Big Thangs, again bringing that back up. I'm curious to know, like, as you just mentioned, just bringing a different characteristic and flavor to music, everything being really hip hop and bass heavy. You guys are bringing like a different element, which is refreshing. With this song Big Thangs, like what would you say is something you're trying to tell the community and the people about in this song?
Well, I mean, it started out just like with a beat, and Nick wrote the lyrics almost immediately as soon as he heard the beat that we lay down. And comparatively to the rest of the tracks on the album, this is more, I wouldn't say it's lighthearted because it goes hard, but it's more of a fun song than a serious rock track. And we wanted to make sure that that was expressed on the album because we're not, all hard rock, even though we can rock hard. So it was kind of the bookend for the album. It starts out with a hip hop vibe, bass and vocals only, and it goes out with a hip hop vibe with bass and vocals only.
Right, which is how we came to. I mean, Paul and I, at the very beginning was, he was a master bassist, and I was, the lyrics.
A lyrical master.
A cunning linguist.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know, that's just how we started. Sunshine was the first track we ever recorded, and then Big Thangs kind of became, like you said, the bookend. We were like, all right, we want to lighten it up a little bit, because if you listen to the album from top to bottom, we get pretty heavy with the lyrical and energetic instrumentation, and we touch on some things that provoke certain thoughts in people,
Definitely.
And so with Big Thangs, it was more of like I don't know if I'm necessarily trying to send a message to any community or anything like that. I feel like I'm just trying to have a good time, and we were both trying to showcase our talents. Paul is slapping the bass going hard. Dude literally freestyled a bass line. Like, we're sitting in the studio, and it was just the beat and lyrics at first. And so, I'm like, all right, the lyrics go hard. And Paul's like, I feel like it needs something, And so he just grabs his bass, which I've seen him do so many times, like, you know what, let me do that. And he just, like, off top, he doesn't run through, there's not multiple takes. It's like, let me just drop this real quick and see how it sounds. And it wound up being dope. And so we were like, yeah, let's keep it. We were in the studio, it was live, like right after I recorded the vocals. It was pretty sick. And shout out to Joshua Dupre and Eric Heckert out in Dupre Studio Recordings in Tampa, Florida. That's where we recorded the album.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Shout out to that's my boy for life.
Yo, man, and that's some other things I really appreciate is, again, bringing it back to where, a lot of people are, making music in Fruity Loops or in Ableton or, even Pro Tools. And, it's a lot of just pointing and clicking. I do that myself. I make beats, my own songs. For people who play instruments, just such as yourself, you definitely have to have the right people to set up mics and get the acoustics and record it properly. So, those guys, those engineers and those guys that are recording and setting up mics, definitely underrated. So yeah, shout out to those guys, the studios as well. Yeah, man. I mean, what I know, another thing that's really big is, syncing, right? Syncing, getting songs into movies and video games and things of that nature. I really feel like the sound that you guys bring and the vibe definitely fits for that world. Like, tell me about, do you guys play video games? Do you guys, do you work with any sync people? Was any of that in mind when you're making this song?
We definitely play video games.
Yep.
I'm more of a sports / Call of Duty only kind of guy. I have friends that are into a lot of different games, but I pretty much stick to that. I mean, Nick, you're a video game guy too, right?
So. I mean, there's Twitch streamers that would probably be like, you're not really a video game guy. So my boy Matt is a big time video game dude, and he's trying to put me onto a lot of games. The games that I found most are like that I enjoy most are Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Redemption. It's a great Halo is a great one. But Paul and I play NHL regularly. You know what I mean? Like EA, I feel like is a big. It's a big game. It's a big. I don't know, what would you say? Like an umbrella that I am under. I play 2K. I play NHL. I play. If there's somebody that has Madden, because I don't have Madden.
Yeah.
But the music is always dope on the video games because you're always scrolling through mad menus and you have to have some background sound. And yeah, a lot of bands that I've never even heard about, I've heard off of like NHL 19, whatever. So
right.
We're not working with anyone yet as far as syncing, but we're definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, man.
can't say it's in mind, but we definitely can hear some tracks on certain games.
Yeah,
Sure.
for sure. Like there's certain things where yeah, in the like you said in the menus and in the like when you're waiting for the game to load and shit, like pretty, you
Like
know.
the practice mode, NBA 2K, like
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
we can hear Big Thangs rocking like as we're just shooting hoops.
yeah. You're just
Yeah.
shooting like yeah, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think you know, when you guys are, you know, thinking about songs. So for instance, for this song, I think to make it into NBA 2K, that was something I was doing for, you know, many years, working on the NBA 2K soundtrack and working with artists such as yourself, up and coming and placing their songs in the game. You know, one thing I always would ask them is, you know, one, do you own the musical element? So, you know, you guys playing the instruments is great because, you know, that's authentic. You're making that on the spot. Whereas a lot of people will use samples and things of that. Not that you guys don't on other songs, but just in general, you know, there's a lot of people that don't own the songs or the samples or even the beats, right? And then lyrically, it's like, you know, you're making a song for certain games. For instance, sports games, a lot of them are rated E for everybody, right? So the game really needs to be made for a 9-year-old person and older. So when you're making music for games, you have to just keep that in mind. So like your songs, you could say, hey, any of them could work really, but you would just need to make a clean one, a clean version for anything that said that, you know, might be unacceptable for a 9-year-old or whatever the case may be, things like that. But that's really it. You know, I mean, I think you guys definitely have the vibe to make it into games, hockey specifically. I mean, you know, there's an artist named Knight Lavelle. Have you heard of this guy?
Night Lavelle, no.
Okay, Knight Lavelle is like he's like a, I guess you could call him a SoundCloud rapper, quote unquote. But you know, he's got energy. His music has energy. He has kind of a darker tone. But he was working with NHL teams because he's from Canada. So he was getting his songs placed in arenas. So that, hey, again, that's another idea. Is like, say you guys love hockey. If there's any hockey teams you really mess with, maybe reach out to their marketing teams and say, "Yo, would love to get my song, you know, at your arena," or things like that. You know,
Yeah, we would love
but yeah, the vibe is definitely
that.
there for sure.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we both played hockey in our lives. We're both
That's awesome.
extremely like lifetime Rangers fan, New York Rangers.
That's
Um,
fire. Yeah.
you know, we've bonded over that as well. Like plenty of and our fathers, as a matter of fact. So the way we're, I mean, you know, not to go off here, but the way
You're
that
good.
we have kind of like come into contact is our dads are best friends,
That's
and
fire.
so um, we have been to Ranger games together. Our fathers were going. You know, this is a generational hockey love. So
For
there's
sure.
you know, hockey is definitely in our blood. Um, so
Yeah,
just
man. No,
wanted to
and
mention
I
that.
think that's what hockey's all about. I mean, I'm not, again, I'm not a super huge hockey guy, but from what I understand, hockey was built on like brother families and brothers getting together and getting on the ice and duking out all your problems and, you know, playing a sport together and stuff. So that makes total sense that, like, you know, the families coming together, everybody's bonding over hockey, and the sport is like, I think to me it's really exciting, like basketball, towards fast paced, fast moving, and there's definitely a lot of rock vibe in there, and really fast motion of music. So I feel like you guys would definitely fit in that category. And you know, the guys at EA, I've worked with some of those guys before, so I'd love to, you know, send this song over to them and just kind of see what they're thinking, and you know, where their heads at for the soundtracks coming up. But yeah, man, do you guys have any like other albums you're working on or other projects besides the one that you were mentioning earlier?
Yeah, so we're working on, first of all, live streaming. That's the new thing, and we're working on a new studio setup so we can go live at any point with premium audio quality.
Nice.
At the same time, we're working on album two and looking forward to touring and publicizing album one still. But
Yeah.
album two is definitely in the works because the beats don't ever stop coming.
Yep. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, got to keep creating, especially like you said, being in the time that we're now, even doing interviews, right? We're doing this via, you know, Zoom. So doing live sessions, you know, I'm seeing so many artists who are doing such cool things that aren't on the biggest level of artistry either, you know, like these guys they're at the level to where they're like, hey, I'm going to experiment. I'm going to go to my local venue, you know, rent it for like a day and basically shoot a performance and then put that on YouTube or wherever, IG, Facebook, whatever, right? Or live stream it. So people are coming up with these ideas, and then the bigger artists are seeing them and like, yo, I want to do that times 100, you know? So I think you guys right now, you're in a great space, honestly, to just experiment and try stuff. And I'm really excited to see what you guys have coming. But yeah, I mean, hey, tell the people where can they listen to your music, either your social media profiles, like drop and do all your drops right now, because I'd love everybody to go check you out as soon as this interview is done.
Well, at Diligent Delinquents on Instagram, Facebook, Diligent Delinquents Music, but it's just Diligent Delinquents. You find our Instagram there.
Or diligentdelinquents.com.
Yeah, there's the whole. We have the videos, we have the merch, we got a couple of masks we got purple and black masks that we're trying to sell, and we've got several videos out. I mentioned that we shot with Dupre Studio Recordings in Tampa. We have a documentary that we shot during that time. Paul and I packed up our stuff and went out for 14 days, and we made this album come to life to another level, at the level that you're listening to it at. Within 14 days, it was pretty crunched, but we made it happen, man. Sleepless nights, but we did it, and so that footage is available on our YouTube channel. So Diligent Delinquents everywhere is basically
Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music,
anywhere you get your music,
Tidal.
everywhere, like anywhere and everywhere. Stay diligent. You know what I mean? That's
Sure.
we try to stay diligent with it. So.
Yes, sir. No, man, I'm with it. I'm with the movement. I'm definitely going to be paying a lot more attention. I'm so glad I was able to, sit down with you guys and speak to you about your music and what you have going on. Yeah, man. Again, appreciate you guys hopping on. I'm gonna go check that.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah,
It's been a pleasure to virtually meet you. I wish I could shake your hand,
Yeah,
but
same, man. But yeah, let's stay in contact, man. I want to get on some games. I think I have NHL lying around here somewhere, so I got a little.
I don't know, man.
We'll see what's good on the ice, eh?
We'll definitely play for sure.
But yeah, no, thank you guys for hopping on the Good Vibes podcast. This is definitely one of those things that I'm gonna, cherish, and I'm gonna check out more of your stuff after this. So appreciate having you guys, and then yeah, we'll talk soon.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to Good Vibes Podcast. Shout out to Mike. And happy Thanksgiving, man. 2020. Let's push through and stay strong.
Yes, sir. Happy holidays. All right, guys. Peace.
Take care.
Take care.